in association with Forsyth Bar, leaders in financial advice.
In a week that's seen 5 cyclists die on New Zealand's roads, the Dunedin City Council has released its options for the city's cycle network. Spokes Dunedin is part of a nationwide organisation dedicated to cyclists' rights. Gerard Hyland is one of their spokespeople and he joins me now. Good evening, Gerard. Welcome.
Good evening.
Now, there has been something of a rash of cycle accidents, 5 people dying on North Island roads quite recently. How safe are the country's roads for cyclists?
Well, those recent tragedies tend to show that it's not very safe at all. But overall, it's not too bad. I think over the last few years, there's been an average of about 10 cyclists killed a year, which compared to motoring deaths is a lot less. But really, there are 2 parts to that, and one is directly driver awareness. People just can't see cyclists. They're not even thinking cyclists are there. And the other part, of course, is the lack of proper infrastructure for cyclists rather than cars.
Now, there is a plan on the table here from Transport for a cycle lane alongside the 4-lane motorway through Caversham. Do you think that would work?
That works quite well if you want to get to and from the top of Lookout Point. But as a commuting route to get out to Green Island and further afield, not really. The tunnel that's right beside it is a far safer, easier, shorter option.
And your organisation would be supporting the tunnel option?
Oh, most definitely. We'd look at both because you'd need access up to the top, but the tunnel is by far the safer one.
What makes it a better option?
Well, for a start, you're separated from the traffic, so you're away from that immediate danger. Secondly, it's easier. It's a flat ride. It's a much shorter ride. You've then got the fact that it's family-friendly. You can get your kids cycling through there. You wouldn't want to take your kids cycling up the top of Lookout Point with 4 lanes of traffic whizzing past your elbow. And, of course, it's sheltered, so you don't have weather worries.
Can you give us a bit of background into the 4 options that have been proposed?
The feasibility study came out looking at the 4 options. The first one was basically use the current roads as they are or widen some of the roads around Fairfield, so go over 2 large hills out to Mosgiel with the traffic. Secondly is opening up the Caversham tunnel and then using the roads out there. So we cut out the first hill, Lookout Point, but we still have to go over Saddle Hill. The third one is the full trail, so through the Caversham tunnel, through the Chain Hills tunnel and following the railway line around beside it. So you're away again from all the traffic, away from the dangers. And finally option 4 is a bit of a mash-up from 3 where you use the 2 tunnels but you follow the road as much as possible between them.
Do you think that the Council and Transit New Zealand will listen to cyclists on this one?
The Council certainly. The Council is quite responsive to cycling and cycling needs now and they're looking at the various options. Transit, NZTA, they've got a slogan of building a better transport system for New Zealanders. They need to understand that transport system for New Zealanders isn't just tarmac and cars, but all forms of transport, including active transport, pedestrians, cyclists, and the infrastructure they need.
And you cycle to work yourself most days. How do you find it out on the roads?
Most of the time it's okay, but I do pick my routes, so I don't go with down the main one-way system where it's very busy, or try the quieter lanes. And always be aware of the traffic, and I think the cars can't see me, so I have to be careful for them.
Are there any particular black spots, as it were, in Dunedin for cyclists?
You've got round the exchange, where you're coming through the one-way system, and they've got the cycle lanes through the one-way system, which puts us by the major traffic rather than through the quieter streets. So that's one area that I try to avoid.
Gerard Hyland from Spokes Dunedin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 9 Local News, we check out the refit that's happening at a local theatre, and with details of weather for the end of the working week.